Hello, agents. I thought it was about time that I set the record straight about a few things. I died at Project Waratah almost 30 years ago. I was the first of us to die and come back as a simulacrum. And look, there's a lot that we can blame Calvin for, but he didn't force me to keep the secret. I actually volunteered for that. In the 90s, XM research was the fringest of fringe science, and I knew how important it was that we kept that information to a very tight trust circle. All of that said, when I volunteered to not let anyone find out what I truly was, I definitely didn't think it all the way through. I didn't realize what I was giving up. Because of course, when this happened, I essentially stopped aging. And on a long enough timeline, you run out of ways to explain that away. I was actually pretty proud of my solution to that, pretending I had a kid and then just becoming that kid. But here's the thing. Keeping this a secret meant I couldn't let anybody in. My supposed wife, my home life, my family, all of this had to happen off screen. And as far as my colleagues were concerned, they were a carefully cultivated fiction that kept the people in my circle from learning the real truth. You know, I was always into games. Growing up, before all of this, I loved strategy. I loved that aspect to them, but there's also this just so clearly defined. You know, in the real world, I don't know what the win condition is. I don't even know who the enemy is a lot of the time. In games, that's all pretty well spelled out. But it was when video games started actually coming into their own that I found what I've been looking for all along. You know, after Waratah, I tried to build this wall between myself and other people. Open world RPGs really kind of became my world. The real people they're just so filled with contradictions, so randomly at the mercy of their emotions, so willing to let them cloud their logic. But video game characters are so much more straightforward. And look, I know what the other researchers have been saying about me. They look at me like I'm some kind of escaped mental patient. And yeah, it didn't help that when all this came out, the others found out that I'd been lying to them for years. Calvin and I knew that Nemesis would eventually come for us and kill us. Secretly patterning the researchers and putting their real bodies in stasis in the Vatican chamber. That was the best solution Calvin can come up with to keep everybody safe. I guess it wasn't our place to make that decision for them. Monitoring the Vatican chamber was actually one of my duties at the Niantic project. Making sure everyone was, still breathing in there. There's something nagging me about that situation the whole time, though. Somehow, Calvin's calculations didn't add up right. Again, in my head, they didn't. And when the time came, I wasn't convinced that we'd be able to wake anybody up. Most of the others were surprised that Misty never woke up. I was just surprised that anybody did.